Good morning, Maranatha Bible Church. If you do not know me, my name is Luke Cramer. I get the opportunity to serve here leading the middle school ministry. I just have one question to start off with this morning for you to think about, and that is, what is your favorite thing? Your favorite thing on this planet. Hopefully, the first thing that came to your mind was a spouse or a loved one, a child maybe, a friend, just a person in your life that is so wonderful, that blesses your life. Or maybe your mind went the other way, if you were honest, when I asked you your favorite thing and you thought car, you thought Starbucks. If you were honest, you would definitely probably say your phone. And if you are somewhere in the ages of 18 to 22, your favorite thing without a doubt is your bed. So we already know the answer for you on that one. But to take it a step further, what if I were to ask you or to challenge you to give that thing up? To give up a relationship that you've been in for so long, to get rid of your phone, to get rid of your car. And I'm not talking about fasting or frugality or anything that we've already discussed in the last few days, but to literally get rid of it forever, to sacrifice it. How would you respond to that? You would probably question why. You would probably not want to do it. And even if you did do it, which I'm not asking you to, but just theoretically, if you did do it, you would probably not do it with a smile on your face. We all know the story in Genesis 22 of Abraham sacrificing his son Isaac, or being asked to sacrifice his son Isaac. In Genesis 22, it says, God tested Abraham and said to him, take your son, your only son, Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains of which I should tell you. So God is telling Abraham, hey, I know your heart is for me and you are devoted to me and you are a friend of mine. So I'm asking you to prove that by killing your son. And to bring that back to us, or to think about how that can apply to us, I think our favorite thing or our sacrifice in our life doesn't even compare to what God is asking Abraham to do. This is so radical, so crazy of a thing for God to ask. And Abraham doesn't even blink at the question, and it says, me and the boy will go over there and worship. We will go up to the mountain and worship. I can't even understand how the word worship can be related to Abraham being asked to kill his son. And in our own lives of Christians, when we think of sacrifice, we think of, yeah, I'll give a few dollars, or, man, I'll volunteer on this thing. But when God is asking about sacrifice, or when Jesus even talks about giving things up to follow him, it is always a matter of the heart. God is always concerned with the heart of man. And if you're not a follower of Christ, or you are maybe just interested in church or interested in Jesus, it probably seems like every time anyone has ever asked you to follow Jesus, or you've thought about being a Christian, you have always thought of, what am I going to have to give up? People share the gospel and they say, here is Jesus, but make sure if you follow him, you give up this, 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 and this, right? That's what we hear. And even us as Christians, we don't take to that either. We say we love God, we follow God, we worship God, but when it comes to giving things up, that's not for us. We preach verses like abundant life, and God wants the desires of our heart, and God doesn't want us to give things up, right? But it seems like the closer I get to Christ, or the more I want to follow Jesus, it seems like the more things that he's interested in. God, I can't believe you're interested in my money. You're interested in what I watch on Netflix. You're interested in the music that I listen to. And it seems like God is always relating those things back to our heart. So if I were to challenge you this morning, think about the thing that has your heart. What has your heart in your life? Maybe it's your job. Maybe it's your money. Maybe it's a relationship. And I'm not saying that these are bad things, but do those things have your heart more than God does? And how can we sacrifice and give up those things, or at least give our heart to God this week? What is one thing that has our heart more than God does? And we also always remember the story of the young rich ruler, where he comes to Jesus and he says, Jesus, I know you're a brilliant teacher. What do I have to do to inherit the kingdom of heaven? And Jesus, without even a blink, he looks at this young boy and he says, give up everything you own, sell it, and then you can follow me. And it says that the young rich ruler went away bitterly, or he ran away because he couldn't do it. And this isn't a call for all Christians. God doesn't come into our life and say, you can only follow me if you sell everything you own. But this was the one thing that had this young man's heart. His money had his heart. So if we desire to follow Jesus, or we want to follow God with our whole heart, what is in the way of that? And how can we sacrifice that this week, or maybe this month, or hopefully for our lives? So I just want to challenge you guys this morning to think about maybe one or two things in your life that are just in the way of your relationship with Christ, or maybe you give more attention to than you do Jesus. And how can you get God back in the front of your mind? How can we sacrifice this week? So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope these daily devotions have been encouraging to you. And I just can't wait to get back to church and see all you guys. So have a good rest of your day and a great week.